Hello everyone! If you are a fan of movies that gives us a glimpse into the psyche of a serial killer maniac, then I might just have something for you to check out with this low-budget film from 1990. I am Torstein from Cinema Terror, and this is The Disturbance. The Disturbance tells the tragic tale of the socially awkward 27-year-old Clay Moyer. He is a loner, still living with his parents, and has only been having interactions with females in his dreams. One day though, he meets the kind, young woman Susan, and they strike up a romantic bond. Although things seem to look bright for Clay, he cannot shake off being haunted by his tormented, violent thoughts, and his unstable psyche will soon turn out to be an issue for his new relationship. Will he be able to get control over his damaged mind, or will he give in to the disturbance? The Disturbance is a film that feels like it belongs in the grindhouse cinemas of the late 70s, early 80s. Some of that has to do with the low production values, but also due to that being the time period when we saw a lot of these films that weren't necessarily slasher films, but rather focused on the psycho killer, and tried to give the audience a peek into the mind frame of a murderer. The Disturbance succeeds in delivering a believable maniac that you can still feel some sympathy towards, even though he does some gruesome, evil stuff. Actor Timothy Greason does a great job as Clay in his first and only acting gig. You can see that both him and the crew took the character seriously, and tried their best at delivering an intriguing character, full of anxiety, hurt, and disturbing hallucinations. You kind of understand why he has become as awkward as he is, and you do get small glimpses into what kind of human being he could have been if he had been able or got the proper help to overcome his dark side.
I must work at the time. Your Dr. Dressler could buy a house with the money I paid.
My Dr. What should we do, Frank? Lock him in the closet?
I was impressed with how much care they put into this character, and I'm happy that they achieved this, as that's the element of the disturbance that keeps the film together and makes it enjoyable. And that's because most of the other stuff in it has little new to offer, and it is at times a dreadfully dull film. The biggest problem is how the story is constructed. It just doesn't flow that well together, leaving several moments of boring parts that brings the overall experience down. An example of this is how much time is spent on Clay's relationship with Susan in the first half of the film. There are ways to build a relationship in a more intriguing manner, and I would have liked to see more backstory of Clay, or him interacting with others more during these parts, or just something of more interest, as these scenes lack any type of energy.
Time that we touch, I never felt so much. I get a little spark in my heart. I can't believe it's true.
I did like his interactions with his parents though. It was refreshing to see a character like Clay actually have caring parents, and he brought something new to the table and separated Clay from most others in this nasty subgenre of horror. This is not a guy who has mother issues or was abused as a child. Instead, this poor guy suffers from schizophrenia. While the film doesn't attempt to dwell deep into that subject, it does give him some more human qualities than what you perhaps would expect. Just like the grindhouse films before it, The Disturbance also goes for sleaze when it comes to the murder scenes. These parts have plenty of nudity and some surprisingly good effects. What they are lacking, to me at least, was a genuine shock value. I didn't feel much while these scenes were going on, and that's a problem for a film like this. Perhaps it's a sleaze factor they portray that might not have been the best choice for a film that otherwise tries to be psychological, or perhaps they were just not done good enough, I'm not sure. I only know that it left little impression on me. Timothy Greason was the only one making his debut on this film, as most of the production crew, including director/producer Cliff Guest, writer Laura Radford, producers Ron Gerasulo, Thomas House, and Peter Dybel, all had this as their first and only film credit. I would like to say that some of the music and sounds created by Joel Jacob and Paul Petit was quite good, while other times, like the crappy and cheesy stuff they did for the dreaded romance scenes, were not as enjoyable. The Disturbance is an uneven film that will be interesting to fans of this specific type of films, while for the average viewer it will probably end up feeling a bit stale. I was bored at times, but in the end the movie did kind of win me over, much in thanks to the way they handled Clay. It's doubtful that I would sit through this again anytime soon, but even with its flaws, I'd say that this was worth checking out. The Disturbance managed to get the good score of 3 out of 5. Have you seen The Disturbance? What are your thoughts on it? And are there any forgotten serial killer films like this from the early 90s that you would recommend me and others to check out? Let us all know about it in the comment section below. And if you thought this video was entertaining, then there are plenty more on my channel, so make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and all of that YouTubery stuff us creators always go on and on about. I wish you a great day wherever in the world you are, and as always, thank you for watching Cinema Terror.